Hey guys, what's going on? This is the first YouTube video I've made in a while. It is a longer video. It's going to be about 25 minutes probably. I wanted to do a little spiel before I started it here. I recorded this. I'm going to do voiceover for it because it is a longer video and I don't think the audio picked up that well, which is okay. I'll see if I can kind of dub it over a little bit better with my mic on my computer. This will also be my first attempt at using DaVinci Resolve to actually edit a video, so we're going to see how that goes. It could crash and burn. It could be okay. I don't know. We're going to figure it out together. As well as it's me explaining kind of my process when I look at designing something. And I am by no means a professional designer. I've designed literally one knife. This one. And I got lucky, and I'm very blessed to have the opportunity to work with the brand Klacken to bring this knife to other people's hands, and I hope they will enjoy it. But enough of that. I'm going to post more design content here on YouTube because TikTok has been... There's been a lot of accounts getting banned, especially the bigger guys that have their own stores and stuff, and it's it's starting to devolve very quickly. And so I'm going to kind of transition over to YouTube and Instagram a little bit more so that I don't lose you guys. I don't want to lose my following. I love this tight little community that we built together. We're up to 1,000 people now, which is absolutely insane to me. And I can't wait to continue on in this knife journey. I've got a whole toolbox full of knives now, so we're going to probably have to expand storage soon. I will eventually go through and show everybody my entire collection that I have so far, and I can't wait to add more to it. But other than that, you guys enjoy the rest of the video, and don't hate too hard at the comments. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Appalachian Edge here, and I'm going to do a little bit of a different style video here today. I think I'm going to transition the YouTube to more of a design-based channel instead of like your normal EDC content. And the reason that I have my Klacken prototype here is because I wanted to kind of walk you through, well, not really walk you through, I've kind of set a challenge for myself. I'm going to draw/design a new knife every single day and try and post it. Now the full-length videos will be posted here on YouTube, and some shorter form stuff will be posted over on TikTok. Some like sped up fast versions, but this is the first knife I ever designed that has gotten any sort of traction, so it's very cool. It should be coming out next month, I reckon, is when they said. So middle of next month roughly is when we're looking at. So definitely be on the lookout for that. I'll definitely advertise a lot more when it gets closer for launch time. But that is we're gonna set that to the side up here, just so we have a knife in the video, because this is a knife channel. And for my carry today, I don't actually have it in here, it's on my nightstand. We packed the Klacken Lancet and the Spyderco PM2. Another one that I wanted to show off real quick that I got for Christmas from my friend John. He got me this one with my name on it, which is very cool. It's just a little non-locking folder. It's actually got really nice ergos, a little 3-finger grip on it. But it's a very cool little. It's in Hunter Orange too. It doesn't show very. There, it's a little bit better. It doesn't show very well, but I think I'm going to use this as like a kind of an intro thing. So there's that. We'll set that up here, and let's go ahead and get to work. Now I have been watching the Hobbit movies recently. So I wanted to design something that is maybe inspired by fantasy, you know, the whole dragon aesthetic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some reference up here. So as I'm looking at Smaug here, and I will put it up on the screen so that you guys can look at it too in post. But as I'm looking at Smaug's face here, he has a very shovel-like head, which is very interesting to me. I've never noticed that before. And all these protrusions and spikes along his face and the back of his head is very they all face the same direction. Nothing's going the way it shouldn't do. I guess for aerodynamics of flight and so it doesn't get hung on anything if he flies through tight spaces, is my only guess there. But I really like the look of some of the jagged pieces along his eyes, so I think I'm going to start there. And we'll turn my paper sideways here, and we're going to use this brand new sketchbook that has nothing in it yet, and we're going to draw on this, and we're going to hopefully fill this up in 100 days, because it's a 100-page sketchbook. So let's start with this kind of curvature over his eye. And I pre-drew a center line just so I wouldn't have to do that. And I'm trying to do it kind of really light so that we don't have any issues when we go to erasing. So we have that curve over his eye. And that curve over his eye comes back into some more jagged shapes that come up this way. And I like that language, kind of like a sway back kind of style. And of course, this will get changed and changed and changed. We're going to start here. Just for reference, if we were to put the actual eyeball in, it would be somewhere right through here. I don't know if that's going to show up very well, but we'll keep that in there just so we can reference it. We're kind of getting this this drop point looking shape already, and this is just, I guess, kind of walking through my design process when I look at something. And you know what, we can go ahead and use this curvature underneath the eye, and we'll just kind of shrink it down to make our first initial blade shape. Like I said, this is just what's going through my brain while I'm sitting here looking at a picture of Smaug from The Hobbit. So we're going to start there, and then he's got these larger horns. Actually, I see a little pocket under his eye here that I really like, and I'll try my best. I'm going to attempt editing in DaVinci for the first time for this video, so we'll want to see how it goes. So that little pocket could actually come kind of, it would flow well right here. Now, this will probably, I want to draw more folders, so I'm probably going to start with a rough shape and then work the components into it. So we're going to get a nice rough start, and we're going to work our components of a folding knife into it, which would be like our pivot somewhere in here, and then of course we would have our plunge grind somewhere in here, and then I saved the edge for last just because it's a very delicate thing to kind of draw in. But we're going to start right here and see what we can work with. Alright, so now that we have this, I know this doesn't look like much right now. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Now that we have this here, we have where our kind of eye would, where I kind of stole the placement of the eye at, and we're actually going to go ahead and put, because I think I want it to resemble kind of an eye, I'm going to put a blade hole in here. I'm going to put a very angled blade hole like that, and then we're going to give this that kind of shovel head that he has. I'm not worried about, you know, somebody stealing this design, because this is going to be in no way a completed kind of thing. I think I'm actually going to switch to a different pencil. This paper is a lot thinner than I thought it was, and that little .2 pencil is going right through it. So we're going to switch to the sumo grip here. And you'll notice I turn my paper a lot to kind of keep my lines where I want them. Let's go ahead and get our kind of pivot placement in here. And as you can see, our body is already starting to form together here. Now this obviously is very wide up here at the top, and we don't want that because it's going to be very bad ergonomically. Well, it probably wouldn't be bad, but it would look a little funky. I know there are some knives that have that kind of design. We also don't want a pinch point up here that's very rough. So we're running out of page there, and that's okay. Like I said, this is in no way a completed design. It's just a fun YouTube video idea, and I could sit and draw on this single drawing for as long as I wanted to. So I like a kind of separation right here. Let's see, I'm getting too much shakeage on that. Let's try and do that without shaking. It's not happening, don't look like. Hopefully the stabilization takes care of it. We're keeping that design language, the kind of reptilian. We're gonna cut that down, actually. Yeah, that looks better. Erase that. Now, obviously the first step after completing a drawing would be to find some way to make a physical version of it, either by cutting it out on cardboard or maybe if you wanted to get real hardcore and cut it out on a piece of like spare steel. Let's get that in there real good. That's coming way too far out for my liking. Let's move it back here. Now, one thing that I find myself doing a lot is I don't like this space right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually bring this back and up just a smidge and knock that line out of there. There we go. That gives us more of a clean line. Now that I've got that there, let's go ahead and move this blade hole back a little bit. That kind of shovel-y top spot in there. Get this, pull it around here. Now at this point, we have a basic kind of shape here. Now obviously, this blade is a lot wider than this handle is. And that, you know, is an issue due to the fact that the blade has to go inside of the handle, because it is a folding knife. But that is something that I would refine over many drawings, and I am making the rule of I'm only going to do these once, and unless it's something that I really, really like and think could actually have potential. Then we will redo it and maybe make some more videos on it. But this will be done once. The proportions are not going to be correct. But there's also the option of just having a lot of blade showing. Which we're not going to draw that right now, but just so we could potentially see that. Have your blade hole right there-ish, roughly. But that's not important. Like I said, this is just kind of a drawing exercise that I'm recording and posting for the sake of posting something, because I enjoy posting. And I'm by no means a professional artist, but I do like to draw. Now, we could get more aggressive with these lines here and really give it almost a wing. And as far as functionality, that could be a place where you could put your finger and perform really precise draw cuts with it. So you could even have jimping up here, and that probably won't show up on camera very well, but it's just little lines I use to indicate. We'll go ahead and put them in there a little thicker to indicate jimping. And then I think this needs to be not round, because that kind of throws our whole sharp look off that we've kind of got going on the back end here. One thing that you can do is kind of fill this space in, because you do want a nice solid handle, and you can use that instead of making it such a scrawny handle. You can still get your shape language through by having maybe an inlay or a separate, I'm not sure what those are called. There's a name for them. And then you could cut out this kind of finger spot a little bit more. Get you some contouring in here. Now this is shaping up to be a pretty cool looking, kind of chunkier knife. And this isn't to scale. This could be a massive folder if you wanted it to. This could be so many different things. It's funky, it's different, it's something that came from my head looking at a picture of a dragon. And you can add more design element in by just doing let's look at the picture again. I like to not straight up rip a whole lot of shape language, but what we could do in the middle here is make us a kind of diamond shape. And this could be done via milling or inlays, and we'll continue that down here. And this one, and it runs into that back piece there, back strap, that's what they're called. And here's where you could have your kind of dragon eye. This might scream gas station to some. Might scream gas station off, but this is just for fun. So we're not gonna let people's opinions bother us. Then of course you have to kind of consider your screw placement. And then there could be one in here that's not very viewable. But that could be a chunky little guy. And I always like to use actual knobs for size reference. So there is a there's my prototype next to it, and for something that you may be more familiar with, there is a Kaiser Militol next to it. So it's not entirely that small of a knife, it just maybe looks a little small on paper, and without any, you know, three-dimensionality to it, it could look not very like fleshed out, which is fine. It's a very quick 10-minute drawing. I'm sure people could do better in 10 minutes, but this has been a lot of fun, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.